to do with you two? So much promise. So young, passionate. Now you did it. You got me angry.
Let's talk about this very obscure horror film I accidentally caught on Amazon over the weekend called Bloodrunners. No, not to be confused with Blade Runner. While it may not be widely known, this movie is more significant than you think. In the shadowy corners of early 20th century America where prohibition fueled underground speakeasies and jazz filled the air, Bloodrunners attempts to carve its niche as a vampire horror flick set in 1933. Directed by Dan Lance and starring the infamous Ice-T, this low-budget indie film blends vampires, gangsters, and speakeasy culture. While ambitious, Bloodrunners is an unpolished gem with more flaws going for it than positives. Despite its shortcomings, it inadvertently laid the groundwork for 2025's blockbuster horror film Sinners. Let's dive into what makes Bloodrunners both a mess and a muse. Bloodrunners transport viewers to a prohibition era where Jack Malone, a tough-as-nail cop played by Michael McFadden, uncovers a vampire-run speakeasy led by the sinister Mr. Chesterfield. The premise is intriguing: vampires exploiting underground liquor trade to feed on unsuspecting patrons while harvesting thievery within their own blood bank. The 1933 setting, complete with jazz, fedoras, and Tommy guns, promises a fresh take on the vampire genre, while the speakeasy aesthetic, with its dim lighting and smoky ambiance, sets a moody stage that feels ripe for horror. However, the execution falters. The pacing is poor, dragging in moments of exposition and rushing through potentially thrilling action scenes. The film struggles to balance its crime drama roots with supernatural horror, leaving viewers disorientated. Scenes that should build upon tension, like Jack's investigation into the speakeasy's dark secrets and his past war experience, feels disjointed, undermining the atmospheric potential of the jazz-age setting. The character arcs in Bloodrunners are frustratingly underdeveloped. Jack Malone is a stereotypical hard-boiled cop with little depth beyond his determination to take down the vampires. Supporting characters such as the speakeasy singer Anna show glimmers of potential, but are given scant material to work with, leaving their motivations and growth flat. The acting is equally generic. Most performances feel wooden as a stake, as if the cast is reciting lines rather than embodying their roles. Ice-T, playing the vampire enforcer Chet, is a standout, yet not for the right reasons, unfortunately. His trademark swagger, complete with modern charisma, feels jarringly out of place in a 1933 setting. While T's presence adds a certain charm, his contemporary vibe clashes with the period piece, making scenes unintentionally comical. For example, when Chet delivers a menacing one-liner, it feels more like a 90s action flick than a Prohibition-era horror, pulling viewers out of the immersion. The special effects in Bloodrunners are a mixed bag. Some moments, like the vampire's glowing eyes or blood-drenching feeding scenes, are visually striking for a low-budget production. However, others come across as silly. Think rubbery fangs and overly choreographed fight scenes that border on camp. The film's attempt to blend practical effects with CGI often feels unpolished, undermining the horror. A scene where a vampire transforms the speakeasy's basement, for example, leans more toward B-movie schlock than genuine dread. Now, despite its faults, Bloodrunners is without a doubt the blueprint of Sinners. The parallels are striking. Vampires in a speakeasy, check. Both films center around bloodthirsty undead preying on the living, check. A jazz period setting, check. Sinners also embrace a 1930s aesthetic with smoky jazz clubs and period costumes. So, it's more than a coincidence. The speakeasy as a vampire lair is a core concept in both films, though Sinners refines it with a bigger budget and sharper much sharper execution. Sinners take the raw ideas of Bloodrunners and polish them to a high sheen. Where Bloodrunners stumble with pacing, Sinners deliver a taut narrative. Where Bloodrunners lack character depth, Sinners offers complex protagonists. Even the Speakeasy setting, which feels underutilized in Bloodrunners, become a vibrant, terrifying backdrop in Sinners. In essence, Bloodrunners is the rough draft, while Sinners is the final masterpiece. Overall, Bloodrunners is a flawed film that tries to do too much with too little. Thanks to its poor pacing and undeveloped characters and generic acting. While entertaining, it further disrupts the film's tone. Yet, for all its missteps, this film deserves credit for its bold ideas. It dared to blend vampires in a Prohibition era Speakeasy, paving the way for Sinners to perfect the formula in 2025. And even the original Blade premise, well, the remake, was supposed to be set during that era. So, who came first? Just saying. For horror films and cinephiles, Bloodrunners is worth a watch, not for its polish, but for its raw ambition and its surprising influence on modern horror.